Formula One, a sport that spans hearts, minds and nations, where the 20 best drivers in the world come together to take on some of the world's most historic circuits. And that legacy continues today. The 2021 championship was thrilling from start to finish, and 2022 is set to be even better. New regulations will usher in an age of pioneering changes. New driving talent alongside returning champions will be dueling it out to the bitter end. The pressure will be on the team principals in the upcoming season as they manage their drivers, their cars and the whole team to push to victory. This is not a challenge for the faint-hearted. This is Formula One. Mercedes returned to F1 in 2010, and since 2014 they've won the Constructors' Championships back-to-back every year. In 2021 they took home the Constructors' Championship once more, although they narrowly missed out on the Drivers' Championship, coming in second. Heading into 2022, Mercedes will insist on dominating the competition. Nothing less than the fastest car and the most wins will give the Silver Arrows the outcome they want to see at the end of this new season and beyond. The Red Bull team burst onto the F1 scene in 2005, and ever since 2009, they've been one of the top 3 teams in the championship. Last season ended brilliantly for them. Max Verstappen won the prestigious Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull are flying high once more. Heading into 2022 under the right leadership, Red Bull could find themselves heading up the pack once more. They'll certainly be hoping to end the season with not 1 but 2 championship trophies for their cabinet back home in Milton Keynes. Ferrari have entered Formula One every year since the World Championship began back in 1950. They still hold the most championship titles of any team. The team had a solid season in 2021, securing 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are very much in it to win it. With strong leadership over the 2022 season and beyond, expect to see them fighting for those podium places. If all goes well, they'll be aiming for that top spot as the seasons progress. McLaren are a cornerstone of F1, having been part of the sport since 1966 and winning numerous drivers and constructors' championships over the years. Last season they came a respectable 4th overall, with Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris securing the only 1-2 finish of the season. The talented driver pairing of Ricciardo and Norris returns for McLaren this season, and one thing is certain, they're not going to settle until they're reigning champions once more. Alpine was a new name in 2021, bringing F1 drivers Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon back into the spotlight. Alpine finished the 2021 season in 5th place in the constructors' standings, with their first race win secured by Ocon at the Hungarian Grand Prix. 2022 will be a formative season for Alpine as they return with the tried and trusted driver pairing of Alonso and Ocon. In a few years' time, with the right leadership, they could well become championship contenders. AlphaTauri have been a name in Formula One since 2020. They're renowned for being the proving ground for talented new F1 drivers. Last season they ended in 6th overall. Driver Pierre Gasly also earned them an impressive podium finish in Baku. Heading into 2022, the team continued to develop their current driver pairing of Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly. They'll want to continue scoring regular points and begin working their way past the other midfield contenders. 2021 was Aston Martin's first full season in Formula One. They roared onto the scene with Sebastian Vettel, the legendary four-time world champion, in one of those coveted driving seats. Despite some teething problems in testing, Aston Martin gave a solid showing and finished the season in 7th place overall. Heading into 2022 with Lance Stroll and Vettel behind the wheel, Aston Martin have the potential to become regular podium contenders. But it's going to take strong leadership and shrewd investment to get them there. Alfa Romeo boast an impressive Formula One history, dating right back to 1950 when they won the very first Drivers' World Championship. However, 2021 saw them finish in 9th overall, with no podium finishes to their name. The team usher in 2022 with a brand new driver lineup. They're joined by F1's first ever Chinese race driver Zhou, as well as veteran Valtteri Bottas, as they build their way back to becoming regular point scorers. Haas joined F1 back in 2016, and they've had a good start to their team career, peaking at 5th place in 2018. Last season they finished 10th, but they spent a lot of time and focus on designing their car for 2022 and strategizing for the future. Going into the 2022 season, Haas hope to have a strong car design under their belts. Coupled with hungry drivers, an ambitious team, and strong leadership, they'll be pushing their performance and fighting their way back to the midfield. Williams is a legendary name in F1, winning 9 Constructors' Championships in their heyday. The Williams family sold the team in 2020, and the 2021 season saw them fighting well from start to end. They finished 8th overall, thanks to some incredible performances by George Russell in his last year as a Williams driver. In 2022, Williams have Nicholas Latifi and new signing Alex Albon, returning to F1 after a year away to make up their driver team. The pressure is on for them to up their performance this season and push their way back towards those midfield places.
Hi there. Nice to meet you. I'm Audrey Mensah, one of the team's senior engineers. Welcome to the team. It's great to have you on board. We came under new management recently here at Williams, so you're joining us at a very exciting time. I'm sure you'll settle right into the team. Let's get you shown around. As our new team principal, you're responsible for a lot of aspects of the team. Everything from managing our team's growth, overseeing our finances, and deciding on race day strategies will be in your hands. You can keep an eye on most things from your dashboard here. I can take you through it now. First up, an overview of the board. They're the ones who set the expectations for the team. If they're confident in your leadership, you'll be fine. If they lose confidence in you, however, they might look to replace you. The board sets season objectives for the team to achieve. Reaching them will help keep confidence high, so be sure to familiarise yourself with what's expected. You'll want to keep an eye on the long-term objective for beyond this season as well. Okay then, let's look ahead to the race weekend. We need to start preparing for the next Grand Prix, which will be the first of the season. As it's your first day though, there's nothing urgent for you to address. Feel free to explore more, or you can select continue and sign off for the day. Once you do, time will pass, but don't worry about missing anything. You'll automatically sign back in if an important event comes up. Don't forget to check in with the board often. You can monitor board confidence levels, your available budget, and your progress towards a greater team rating from here. This is where you'll find relevant information on the team's drivers and reserve driver, including their performance ratings and contract details. You can also scout for new drivers to make sure we have the best driver pairing we can. This is where you'll carry out your final preparations for the next race. We'll come back here later. This is your calendar for the month. Pay attention to the events that have been marked. The race weekends have already been added for you. More events will get added as the season progresses. One of my favourite places. This is where the car builds happen, and where we develop and store our car parts. Throughout the season, you'll want to make sure the team are working on upgrading components, and that both cars are being kept in good repair. You can also use car analysis to compare our car builds to other teams. Every team will continuously develop their cars over the season, so it's important you keep an eye on them. You can compare our team cars against any other team here, or even against an average of all teams. If you want to drill down even further, you can compare performance of specific car parts too. This is the warehouse. Isn't it wonderful? This is where we store any uninstalled car parts. We can also design and manufacture new and improved aerodynamic car parts in-house throughout the season and install them on our cars. Actually, hold on. The engineering team have just finished manufacturing a suspension system of a brand new design. Well-designed suspension is crucial to the aerodynamic potential of a race car. We always want the best components possible on our cars, so it's worth checking to see if we should install this one instead of the model we currently have. Right. All the available suspension designs are here to look through. Notice how both cars currently have the same suspension design installed. Check the new design at the top of the list. As each car can only have one suspension fitted, you'll want to check the stats of the new design to see if it's worth replacing the old one. Take the time here to compare the two designs. You may also want to pay attention to the stats that are crucial for the next race, and see which suspension is more suitable for that circuit. Looks like this new design only has positive impacts on the car. That's great news. We only have one copy of this suspension at the moment, so you need to decide which car to install it on. Select the new suspension design and get it installed. Can't wait to see this in action on the race weekend. Great work. That's the new suspension fitted. If you want to have more copies of this design manufactured, you can do so from here. Just remember those F1 mandated spending caps, the official limit on how much we can spend on car development and improvement each season. If you don't want the team to manufacture anything right now, we should probably head back. It's not just the fastest car that makes a team the best in F1. It's the people doing the hard work behind the scenes. Manage your staff from here, from department heads to your pit crew, and keep up to date on their performance. From here, you can see all the team's facilities, from the staff buildings to the car park development centres. You can build new facilities or, if the team has the time and money, upgrade our existing ones. Facilities affect all areas of our team's performance. Over time, facilities will degrade and become less effective, so keep an eye on their condition. When this happens, we'll need to look at refurbishing or even upgrading that facility to get back to maximum efficiency. Here you can delve deeper into team finances and see our balance, as well as understanding information on income and rewards, and the enforced spending caps we have to abide by. It's no longer your first day. We'll have you on top of things in no time. You'll continue moving through days this way until it's time for the race, which you can see in the upcoming events list. It's good to get in the habit of regularly checking that list. Let's take a look at what needs doing today. You have an alert in the top corner. There's an important email awaiting a response, so you should check your inbox when you're ready. Looks like you've received a budget approval request. Most of the team's budget is decided by the board at the start of the season, plus whatever we get from last season's prize money and any extra sponsorship revenue we earn. I reckon that's a good decision. It should keep the team in high spirits anyway. Now that's dealt with, we can focus on our first Grand Prix of the season. The race weekend is still a few days away, so move forward when you're ready. We're getting very close to race day now. Just continue to do anything that's needed. In the future, you'll also want to decide on these actions yourself, to ensure our team are continuously developing and improving. It takes the team a while to manufacture a new car part. If you check your calendar, they'll have given you a delivery date. Now all you have to do is wait patiently and let the magic happen. Okay, you want to get started with a design project. These are car parts we can design and manufacture in-house. Each car part impacts different areas of the car's performance, but certain car parts will have a greater impact than others. You can also view our car performance by rank on grid. This is a useful comparison tool and lets you see how our performance compares to that of all the other cars on the grid. Take a look over the different car parts. The highlights indicate which performance areas they impact the most. Pick one that impacts the ratings you want to improve. The team's expertise in making new car parts improves with experience, so each new design is likely to be better than an older one. Just make sure to check the new design against the one currently installed. Testing is also an important step in designing a new car part. Our testing time is limited throughout the season, and it's up to you to decide how much to commit to each design project. If you assign some testing time to this design now, you can see what effect it will have on the car part. Once you've taken a look, let's continue. You can direct the engineering team to focus on specific areas of performance. F1 car parts are complex, and sometimes you'll have to sacrifice performance in one area to achieve gains in another. Over the season, we'll understand more about our car's performance, which will help you to guide the team's design focus. You can try altering the focus now if you like, or else stick with a balanced approach. When you're ready, continue with the process. As a final step before the team gets started on this design project, you need to decide how many engineers you want working on it. You should also decide what approach they should take. Bear in mind, these decisions will have an impact on the duration and cost of the project. When you're happy with everything, confirm the project and the team will get started. Nice work. That's the project started. If you check your calendar, you'll see the team have given you a delivery date for the design. Once it's complete, you'll be able to manufacture that part anytime. Continually designing new car parts is imperative to improving our team's performance and staying competitive on the track. Check out the car analysis area regularly to see how our cars compare to others on the grid. There's always some final work to do before we can set off. Check your inbox for the race prep report on this weekend's circuit. This is your race preparation area, where you'll get the team ready for the upcoming race weekend. You can also find all the information you need on the circuit we're racing on here. One thing you'll always need to do before each race weekend is setting our performance targets. These help us generate more potential rewards for the team. Here we've got the performance targets for this coming weekend. If we meet these, we'll gain extra revenue. Looks like we've got incentives for both the qualifying session and the race. If we can reach those targets, we'll get an additional payout, and it won't cost the team anything if we don't meet them. You can also decide to add targets here and offer our sponsors guarantees. These are a risk, as we face a potential financial loss if we don't meet them. But if we do, we'll gain a much larger reward. Okay, if you want to offer a guarantee for this weekend and raise the team's potential rewards, now is your chance. You've done everything needed, and the team can't wait to get started. It's time for the first race of the season. You can take some more time to look around if you like. When you're ready, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula One. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Okay then, let's get to it.
Great to see you again. Welcome to your first race weekend with the team. It's Friday, so we're kicking off with free practice 1 as usual. Over here is our race preparation area. This is where you can make any changes you need ahead of the upcoming practice session. Rest assured the team have already prepared the cars for practice. When you're ready, we can continue to the practice session. During race weekends, you can decide whether you want to manage the practice sessions yourself or whether to hand over control to your team. As it's your first race weekend, you should let the team handle the practice sessions.
With the third and final free practice session all wrapped up, we now move on to qualifying. For those teams hoping to pick up points in tomorrow's race, qualifying is a great opportunity to get ahead of the competition. Whether a driver normally finds themselves as a front runner or a back marker, any advantage they can gain here today is sure to give them an edge. You're going to want to join us for this, folks, so fasten your seatbelts.
To help maximise our drivers' performance, the team have them work on 3 goals during practice: track acclimatisation, car parts knowledge, and setup confidence. If you manage the session yourself, you might get an even better performance from the drivers for the rest of the weekend. Right, time for qualifying. Our results here will determine where we start on the grid for Sunday's race. Qualifying takes place over 3 knockout rounds, and only the fastest drivers will advance each time. Same as practice, the team can handle qualifying for you if you like. Our drivers need to be setting their fastest possible lap times, so we can advance to the next round of qualifying. The slowest 5 cars will be knocked out. Keep a careful eye on time remaining. The time limit on qualifying rounds really ramps up the pressure. Right then, let's get a car out on the track for its first run and see how it goes.
Radio check. Copy, radio check.
Each car is fitted with a number of onboard cameras, so you can see the action as it happens. You can also use the map view if you like. It gives you a good overview of the whole track and all the cars. Remember, you're managing 2 drivers throughout the session, so make sure to keep an eye on both of them.
Someone's run wide. Let's see what happened there. Now watch this. Here's the moment involving Albon. They go wide right off the racing line. The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too badly.
Well, the first flying lap could have gone better, but never mind. Keep an eye on the stand-ins throughout the session to make sure we stay out of the knockout zone. Right then. That qualifying run is done, so the driver will return to the pits now. I know everything happens so fast over a race weekend, but if you need to catch your breath, you can pause for as long as you like. Or, if things aren't moving fast enough for you, you can speed up a little. Our driver is back in the pits. You need to reconfigure the car before we can send them back out. Let's go and take a look. The team will make sure the run plan is updated to include refueling. So all you have to do is fit some fresh tyres. Here you can see all the tyre compounds available this weekend. When making any changes, just be sure you're considering both the condition and the compound of the selected tyre. We want maximum performance during qualifying, so let's use a fresh, soft compound tyre. Soft tyres are the fastest in dry conditions. Brilliant. The car's ready to head back out at your say-so. It's probably best to do at least one more run before the end of the round. Unless you're feeling very confident about our time so far. The track will have more grip later in the round, but there will also be more traffic. It's up to you to decide when you want to send the car out. Whatever gets us through to Q2.
made a mistake.
Understood.
And that's the lockup!
ahead.
Copy.
It looks like we didn't make it through to Q2. Not great, but it's only the first weekend of the season. Plenty of time to improve.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
Williams had a good performance in qualifying. Now they'll be eager to demonstrate that they can have an even better race. Aston Martin did a good job during qualifying, and they're pretty much where everyone expected them to be on the grid. Now it's up to them to defy expectations during the race itself. We've been having lovely clear weather, although there are a few clouds lurking. Hopefully they'll stay in check for the duration of the race.
And there's going to be a lot for the teams to handle, so will the drivers and their cars be able to cope with the pressure? Let's find out right here at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Right then, time for the main event, the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is a great time for us to get some early points under our belt. So let's stay focused and push hard. Each driver will need to make at least one pit stop to fit new tyres. On average, a pit stop will cost a driver about 25 seconds. So we need to think carefully about when to pit and why. Let's set a tyre strategy for our drivers now. We need to make sure we have a good plan for when we want the cars to pit. Every race weekend, the team will prepare some recommended strategies to choose from. Let's see what they suggest for this race. Okay, strategy A is a fast but risky option. relying on 2 soft stints and no hard compound at all. Strategy B is a well-balanced option. 2 soft stints and a nice long middle stint on a hard compound. Right, Strategy C is a slower but safe option for this track. We'll tackle the final stint on a medium compound instead of a soft tyre. If you think a different approach could work, you can make changes to any of the team strategies, or even... Right, Strategy A it is. This is going to need careful management to pull off, so keep a close eye on things. Okay, now to select a strategy for our other driver. It doesn't have to be the same for both. You should consider picking a different strategy for each driver. This gives us a chance to take advantage of in-race events and means we won't have both cars pitting on the same lap. That's both drivers with a set strategy in place. Right, let's head back to the preparation area and get this race started.
With the skies mostly clear, tonight's race shouldn't hold any unpleasant surprises. Here we have Alexander Albon. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. Next up for the team, it's Latifi. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Everything's been building to this. Here we go, with the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Good job, good job.
With an overtake.
During the race itself, you can direct the team drivers in 3 main ways. Each option will help drivers increase their speed, but will come with a cost in different areas. Increased pace will improve lap times, but at the cost of increased tyre temperature and wear, which can lead to more pit stops and higher risk of tyre failure. You can instruct the drivers in how to manage their fuel. Using more fuel will give them more speed, but you need to ensure there's always enough left to finish the race. Finally, you can adjust the ERS strategies for each driver. Higher ERS strategies give the driver a boost of power in racing, but will also drain the car's battery. Timing and battery management are everything here.
there's been contact. Here's the replay. Watch this. There's Leclerc. And there's the hit. And it's crystal clear who was in the wrong there.
Use DRS.
We've just had a car run wide. Let's take a
As the race
closer look.
progresses,
Okay,
remember
here's
to
the
keep
Ferrari.
an eye on the planned strategy you put in place before
They've
the
gone
race.
wide.
The
They
strategy
won't be
view will
happy
let you
about
check
that.
your strategy, adjust it, or even change it entirely.
And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
The data view is also an important area to track during the race. It gives you a deep dive into race data, including lap times for all the team's drivers. From the data view, you can see live data from the current session. Here we can see the latest lap and sector times for all drivers, and an overview of their tyre conditions. Here you can also view how the current session could affect the drivers' and constructors' championship standings. There's plenty more to dive into with the data view, so make sure you spend some time exploring.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Doing what you're doing.
And a new position just gained by Williams. Was that a lock-up on the track? And there's an overtake from Williams. Haas with an overtake there. Looks like there's been a lockup.
Okay, our driver has just entered the pit window. The pit window encompasses the laps that cover the planned pit stops in your strategy. This means it's nearly time to call the planned pit stop. Unless you think there's a reason to pit immediately, I always recommend sticking to the strategy and pitting on the optimal lap.
You're doing good.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Ready to call a pit stop? Bring the driver in and follow our planned strategy. Right, let's talk tyres. During dry races, all cars need to use at least 2 different tyre compounds. If a car doesn't comply with this rule, it will be disqualified from the race. Ultimately, it's your decision on which tyre compounds we go for. Although I'd strongly recommend sticking to the starting strategy when possible. You can see the estimated lap lifetime for each tyre when you focus on them. Once you've decided which tyre to move to, just confirm the pit stop with the team.
And we'll box this lap. Okay, box.
McLaren gain a position.
box, box. Box, box.
Vettel has just pitted.
Let's have a look. Now, we see the Williams here. And yes, that's where they spin out. And the team had such high hopes today. What a shame. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place. Seems to have been a lock-up. Sounds like we've had a spin. I think we've had a car run wide. I think there's been a lock-up. And a new position, just gained by Williams. And there's an overtake from Williams. I think someone's run wide. Sounds like someone's locked up.
Box, 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 box.
A lock-up. Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position. Who's running wide there? We've just had a spin. And there's an overtake from Williams. And a new position, just gained by Williams. Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
And this is the last lap.
And Sainz crosses the line first. He's taken the win.
Managing pace will help you manage a car's tyre temperature. Keep an eye on the tyre condition of both cars. Over time, tyre condition...
The grip is just very, very poor on the edge of motors here.
Copy.
Guy.
An okay performance for Alex Albon today. This was a mixed performance from Williams today. Some excellent decisions and then some strategies that will need a bit of work.
Yes, there's no doubt that they have what it takes. I can't wait to see which direction they go in for the next race.
Now that all the points have been tallied, the team is in 10th place in the constructor standings.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
The team's drivers gain experience over each race weekend, depending on their performance. With enough experience, your drivers will be able to improve their skills. Congratulations on completing the first race weekend of the season. The team's outcome will have had an effect on board confidence levels. You can see their response in more detail in the board menu. But there's plenty of time for that to change over the season. Take a look at what you can be doing before the next race weekend gets here. That suspension we installed before the race was really effective. And the design of the new car part is still in progress. You're pretty much ready to handle things yourself now. Our staff and facilities have a significant impact on the team's performance. If you ever find yourself needing any further information, Don't forget you can use the help function for guidance. Okay, I need to head back over to aerodynamics. I'll be in touch again now and then. And I'm looking forward to the team thriving with you at the helm.